America has always had a love affair with grandeur. Nothing symbolized the Gilded Age quite like the Waldorf-Astoria Hotel, a palace of luxury, excess, and spectacle right in the heart of New York City. It wasn't just a hotel, it was a stage for American ambition, a monument to wealth, and, beneath its glittering chandeliers, a silent witness to suffering and scandal. Built at the height of the Gilded Age, the Waldorf-Astoria was the ultimate expression of opulence. Every marble column, every gleaming fixture, every meticulously orchestrated meal reflected wealth and taste, but also exploitation and exclusion. Laborers worked under harsh conditions. Immigrants, women, and children endured grueling hours for minimal pay, their toil hidden behind gilded walls. Meanwhile, the social hierarchies of the time were absolute. Black Americans were barred, and the wealthy guests demanded that the world revolve around their comfort. The hotel's story intertwined with some of the most dramatic moments of the era. John Jacob Astor IV, one of America's richest men, perished on the Titanic while ensuring his wife's safety, a symbolic end to the age of family fortunes that had built such monuments to luxury. The hotel remained, continuing to host presidents, foreign dignitaries, and the most influential figures in American society. Its halls were filled with elegance, gossip, power, and influence. Yet behind the scenes, darkness lingered. Suicides among guests became disturbingly common. Tragedies quietly managed to preserve the hotel's reputation. The Waldorf-Astoria didn't just offer luxury, it demanded silence. Then came Prohibition. The 18th Amendment, which went into effect in 1920, banned alcohol in America, but the Waldorf-Astoria adapted almost immediately. The men's cafe officially served only coffee and soft drinks, but seasoned guests knew better. Special orders, coded language, and discreet staff kept the flow of illegal liquor alive. Behind closed doors, lavish parties continued with whiskey and gin flowing freely. Organized crime networks supplied the hotel, protection payments ensured discretion, and even the lawmakers who had passed Prohibition could indulge without consequence. To the rest of America, these rules applied, but inside the Waldorf-Astoria, they did not. The hotel thrived through the 1920s, but the era of excess could not last forever. The stock market crash of 1929 obliterated fortunes. Traders who once gathered in the hotel's clandestine bars to celebrate wealth watched it evaporate in hours. Panic and despair replaced revelry. Suicides spiked. The same hotel that had masked tragedy for decades now faced a financial crisis it could not ignore. Occupancy rates fell. Revenue collapsed, and even a hotel as legendary as the Waldorf-Astoria could not escape the harsh reality of the Great Depression. Amid this turmoil, the very land beneath the hotel became more valuable than the building itself. Developers saw opportunity. The Astor family, who had long controlled the property, sold it to a syndicate planning to build an even taller structure, what would become the Empire State Building. The final season of the Waldorf-Astoria was a melancholic affair. Over 1,500 guests attended a farewell gala, celebrating the grandeur of a hotel that had hosted presidents, bankers, and dignitaries for decades. For the staff, the closure meant unemployment during the worst economic period in American history. Over 1,000 workers, from porters to maids to cooks, lost their livelihoods with little support or severance. The demolition of the Waldorf-Astoria revealed secrets hidden for decades. Salvage crews uncovered sealed rooms, Prohibition-era bootlegging equipment, and decades-old personal effects, traces of a world that had existed quietly behind the hotel's luxurious facade. Chandeliers, marble paneling, and bronze fixtures were removed and scattered across the country, repurposed in homes, banks, and restaurants. By May 1931, the hotel had vanished entirely, leaving only foundations for what would become the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building rose rapidly from the ashes of the Waldorf-Astoria, a symbol of technological achievement and corporate ambition during a period of economic collapse. Where the Waldorf had represented family wealth, social performance, and personal grandeur, the Empire State represented rational capitalism, measured in square feet, rental income, and efficiency. Art Deco replaced German Renaissance. Function replaced spectacle. It was profitable, modern, and successful, but it lacked the character, the drama, and the dark human stories that had defined the original Waldorf-Astoria. And yet, the legacy of the Waldorf-Astoria persists. Its magnificence and monstrousness were inseparable. The hotel represented the pinnacle of American luxury, but that luxury was built on exploitation, inequality, and silence. Workers endured brutal conditions. Guests assumed their comfort mattered more than the lives of those who served them. The suicides, labor abuses, and illegal operations were forgotten or sanitized over time, leaving behind a curated memory of glamour. What survives today is selective nostalgia, a celebration of architectural achievement and social spectacle, but a forgetting of the human cost that made it possible. The story of the Waldorf-Astoria is a mirror to America itself. It challenges us to confront the ways wealth and power operate, the sacrifices of those whose labor supports opulence, and the contradictions embedded in grand achievements. It reminds us that behind every chandelier, every marble column, and every lavish banquet, there can be suffering, exploitation, and inequality. The Waldorf-Astoria vanished in 1930, but the questions it raised about wealth, labor, and justice remain relevant in every luxury hotel, every gilded lobby, and every society that measures value by excess. In the end, the Waldorf-Astoria was both magnificent and monstrous, a duality that defined an era and continues to echo in the way we think about history, luxury, and the human cost of grandeur. Its story is a reminder beauty and brutality often coexist, and the truth is always more complicated than the legend.